What did you do with the entrainment music itself? What's going on there?
There's a huge amount embedded within it. I always like to push the technology to find out what more is possible, so that rather than it just being a couple of pairs of binaural beats and a musical background, there's ways that the whole soundtrack is embedded with isochronic pulses, and that the isochronic beats themselves. So isochronic beat, I'm not going to give a mini background lecture about the exact nature of each of these elements of the technology, but let's just say that if binaural beats are computed by your brain when there's a slightly different sound in each ear, and then your brain computes a third phantom beat that isn't really there in reality, but is there within your auditory processing systems, that in itself,
your brain becomes a mixer and takes the two tracks and brings it together in a different something. That's very
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That seems to do a wonderful, wonderful job of entraining the rest of the brain. But you can incorporate so much more than that into an entire entrainment track. So there are also pulses within. There's some filtered pink noise in the background. There's stuff at the upper end of human hearing. There's stuff right in the subsonic range, and there's actually stuff in the middle of the track as well, in the middle of the frequency range. And those isochronic pulses are unlike any other tracks that have been created, because I studied very, very carefully the waveform of actual delta waves, and they're not smooth sine waves. There's much more of a triangular, and it's a rounded triangle, but there's a triangular shape to the waveforms of delta waves. So I wanted to make the isochronic pulses in particular something that would be a mirror and that would match up with the way that delta waves actually flow in slow wave sleep. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the background of the tracks, as well as 3D processing and filtering out any harsh frequencies to make sure the whole thing's especially soothing for sleep, and to make sure that the mind just becomes immersed in the sounds gently swirl. And it's enough to maintain your focus on the sounds and to keep you immersed in the sounds without there being anything jarring or distracting in there. So I really wanted to create the optimal soundscape for something that people can just melt away into deep sleep whilst listening to.